Hello everyone, this is Stephanie, your CSA coach, and it is week 5A of our 2025 CSA season. Jumping right into what we have this week, we still have our salad mix or our salad greens stored just like this in the fridge. You can leave them right in this bag, I twist the top to make sure that it's closed. Throw it in the fridge. When you're ready to use it, throw it in either a large bowl of water and swish it around, or fill your sink and throw it in your sink. Get them nice and clean, throw the greens into your salad spinner, spin them and dry them, and then you can dress them however you want. Great for obviously a variety of salads. We have turnips. Very first thing you're gonna do with the turnips is disconnect the greens from the bulbs. The greens go in either a Ziploc bag or a Debbie Meyer green bag. They can be eaten raw, they can be sauteed, they can get thrown into your freezer bag for future broth, but they are edible. So those get stored separately in the fridge. Your bottoms, store them in a Ziploc bag. They can be eaten raw, or they can be sauteed, or they can be thrown into a stir fry. They can actually be grilled, they can be roasted. We used last week's in a simple salad. I thinly sliced them and threw them into a salad, and we also used them in a slaw. And the slaw actually didn't contain any cabbage. I know cabbage is usually the main ingredient in the slaw, but I had leftover kohlrabi, so I used kohlrabi, turnips, radishes, and maybe some carrots to make a slaw. So don't think that things have to contain certain ingredients, kind of think outside the box. Turnips are light, they're mild. You can also pickle them. So those are our turnips. We have scallions, and we've been getting scallions for several weeks now. These are stored in a large Debbie Meyer green bag, one of the long ones. Store them in the fridge. They are used for just garnishes on salad. You could do like a baked potato bar, garnish on top of that. If you're doing like a pasta salad or a potato salad or things like that, the weekend is supposed to be beautiful. Chop them up and just use them as a garnish for those. They can also be added to any dish. They're gonna have a light oniony flavor. So you can chop them up and add them to dressings. You can add them to stir fries. You can add them to sauces and soups. So lots of ways to use them. If you would like to preserve them, I highly recommend chopping them up and dehydrating them. That works really well, and you will save them. They'll be really good for a long time. So that's what I do. We have kale. Kale gets stored in a Debbie Meyer green bag in the fridge. It can be eaten raw, or it can be sauteed. It can be blanched. You can turn it into kale chips, salads, green cubes. So we have a lot of greens. You can quickly blanch any of your greens and then puree them in the blender and then make green cubes for smoothies. Though that's another great option since we've been getting greens for a while now. I think tonight we are using both last week's kale and this week's kale for a side, just simple saute with some garlic and onion. So that's what we're doing with this week's kale. We have escarole. Escarole is enormous this week. It's huge. So a very large Debbie Meyer green bag is what you're gonna wanna put this in, and then store it into in the fridge. The greens are, the leaves are a little bit bitter. Your ones on the outside are gonna be more bitter than the tender ones on the inside. So keep that in mind. It's delicious, it's full of nutrients. My favorite recipe for escarole is the escarole salad. That includes apples and dates, and it's on the website. I believe Trisha also linked it in our email that came out yesterday. So make sure you take a look at all of those recipes that are linked that pertain to things that we received in our share this week. That's really helpful and gives you different ideas for things to use. But stored in the fridge just like this, simple saute, thrown in salads, and it can be eaten raw. You can also, it's really great in soups and pairs really well with like beans. So that's our escarole. We got to pick sugar snap peas. As I've said before, most of the time our sugar snap peas don't really last very long in this house. We prefer to eat them raw. So I'll rinse them off, clean them up, take the stems off, and just throw them on the table. And as people pass by, they grab a handful and eat them. That's our favorite way to have them. You can saute them. You can throw them into stir fries. You can add them to salads, but they're stored in the fridge just like this. You don't need to prep them or do anything with them. They're also great if you want to split them up into like baggies or containers for lunches. They're a great snack on the side there. Making sure I got all of this. So we also have broccoli. Broccoli is stored in the fridge, so I throw it in a Ziploc bag, put it in the fridge. When I'm ready to use it, fill a bowl or your sink with water and a little bit of salt. Swish it around. It'll get the florets really nice and clean. Pull them out, chop them up. You can eat broccoli raw. I like to do a quick blanch and throw it in salads. You can also roast it. You can also steam it. And then it can also be thrown in salads. I mean, in soups. I already said salads. It can be thrown in soups. If you still have your broccoli from last week and you aren't using this week's, you can do a quick blanch and then freeze it. So make sure it's nice and dry and throw it in the freezer. And that's a good way to preserve it. So we have garlic scapes. Garlic scapes get stored in a Debbie Meyer green bag, in your crisper drawer, or in a Ziploc bag. They're a light garlic flavor. There are a bunch of recipes on the website for garlic scapes. They're a great, you can actually take the entire scape if you just take the bud off. So these are stored in the fridge. I don't know if I mentioned that. You take the bud off and just lightly oil them and throw them just the way they are on the grill. They're a great side for like a steak or a chicken dish. It's just fun because they're so whimsical. So it adds a great thing to a dish. You can add these to like a pesto if you still have your basil left. Great in salad dressings. Just a week or two ago, I did a garlic scape salt and a garlic scape cream cheese. Both of those are delicious and definitely worth a try. And kind of the salt is a way that you can preserve the garlic. But light garlic flavor, you can add it to pretty much any dish. Just know that it's a little bit lighter than a regular garlic clove. We have cucumbers. These are stored in your crisper drawer in your fridge. Great, just simply washed up, sliced, and served as a snack. You can add to salads. You can pickle them. The garlic salt, the garlic scape salt is delicious if you lightly slice or thinly slice these, throw them on a plate, and then sprinkle the garlic salt over top. That was a fun snack that we had the week I made that recipe. But these can be added to veggie trays. You could do like just a simple veggie tray with your sugar snap peas and your cucumbers and even your broccoli. So light green veggie tray. We have fennel. So it's the first week for fennel this season. Fennel is stored just like this. Throw it in a Ziploc bag or a Debbie Meyer green bag in the fridge. Fennel has a licoricey taste. It can be eaten raw. When I eat it raw, I like to thinly slice it and throw it on salads. It also can be grilled. It's really good grilled or caramelized. So throw it in a pan and slow cook it and get it nice and caramelized, and that's a great side as well. But licoricey flavor can be also roasted. And last but not least, we have cabbage. So this week, a lot of our vegetables kind of lead to a slaw. You could even put the fennel in a slaw for a different flavor. The turnips could go in, the cabbage could go in, and you can change up your slaws throughout the season based on what you have. Cabbage gets stored in the fridge just like this. You can put it in a Ziploc bag if you want to. I generally just leave it like this until I cut it. If I cut a portion of it and use it, then I throw it in a Ziploc bag. It can be eaten raw. It can be sauteed. It can be added to stir fries. It can be roasted, so you can cut it into slices and lay it on a sheet pan and roast it, just a little bit of oil, garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, and make like a cabbage steak. Those are really good. You can grill it and then you can saute it also. We tend to use cabbage raw. I like it in slaws just as a side, especially since we're grilling a lot during the season. So that is cabbage stored just like that. Again, focus on what you have left from previous weeks. Take an inventory, and that should kind of be something you get in the habit of doing either before the season or before your pickup, or as soon as you get home from your pickup. Take an inventory of what you still have left, kind of clean out your fridge and go from there. And then probably the thing you want to use first this week is your salad greens. Use those in a nice salad. So put a salad on the menu at some point in time over the next couple of days, and that will use up your salad greens. And then everything else, take a look at the email for fun recipes, things that are different. If you're having any problems or questions, make sure you post on Facebook and we will guide and help you. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week.